We interrupt this program to bring you
dirty South, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? East, coast, feel me. West coast, feel me. Dirty South, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? East, feel me. West, feel me.
Oh boy, I've been watching you like the hawk in the sky. That fly, you are my prey. Boy, I promise you, if we keep bumping heads, I know that one of these days we gon' hook it up, probably talk on the phone. But see, I don't know if that's good. I've been holding back this secret from you. I probably should.
It's a viral tweet that's going on right now. I know you probably see it.
Yeah, I seen it.
And it's 4 rappers in it. It's you, Cuban Doll, Asian Doll, and Rico Nasty. And you know, a lot of people are reminiscing, you know, when y'all all first came out. You know, it was a different time back then. It was fun, it was new.
Yeah, we was the original trap girls, for real.
Sticks.
After Nicki Minaj dropped the Pink Print in 2014, she went on a bit of a hiatus, with the exception of a few features here and there. The only other women in rap to receive some traffic were Iggy Azalea and Azalea Banks. And while they had a few hits under their belt, it wasn't enough to keep them mainstream. Without Nicki, the female rap scene went flat for a while. That is, until the emergence of 6 women. Bally Baby, Molly Brazy, Asian Doll, Cash Doll, Rico Nasty, and Cuban Doll came together and generated a new wave of female rap from about 2016 to 2018, known as the Trap Girl Era. During this period, the underground girls were running the female rap scene, and although this is a very short and overlooked era, its impact was powerful. I plan on doing a full in-depth video on this era in the future. In my previous video, I talked about how rappers like Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, and Nicki Minaj were respected amongst their male peers for their ability to be equally sexual and aggressive. However, this class of girls were notable due to their disregard for sex appeal. While these girls never shunned their femininity and didn't completely stray away from sexually illicit lyrics, they weren't concerned about being sex symbols. Not only that, but they also didn't seek male validation. For the longest time, there needed to be this balance of eroticism and intensity for a female MC to be respected, but these girls simply didn't care. They weren't so much focused on making it mainstream and appealing to broad audiences, so much as they were focused on being themselves and making trap music. But the reason I bring up this era is because this also occurred during the viral era of social media, where reaction videos were extremely popular. And so for the first time, we saw male reactors that represented the general population of men giving their opinion on the state of female rap, as opposed to just radio personalities or talk show hosts in the past. Now, despite the absence of sexuality in these girls' lyrics, something that the general public and male audiences have detested in the past, their music still wasn't taken that seriously. You look through the comments of these music videos and there's so many people demeaning the authenticity of the lyrics, questioning whether or not the girls even know how to use the guns they're holding in their videos, and saying things like, oh, why are these women trying to be something they're not? The reaction video era of YouTube grew quickly, and as that demographic grew, so did the criticism of music in general. And as years have gone by, reactors with hundreds of thousands of subscribers have become more comfortable openly critiquing many forms of music, including female rap. And since these musical commentators have large audiences, it's become more normal for people not only on YouTube, but Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, and social media to criticize female rappers as well. Now, that's not to say that it's all reactors' faults that women are judged so harshly, because that's simply not true. And that's also not to say that reactors aren't allowed to have opinions, because they are. But I just wanted to signify that a lot of social media influencers and reactors have definitely played a role in the growing hypercriticism of female rappers. But back to the Trap Girl era. Although a few of these girls like Cash Doll, Asian Doll, and Rico Nasty have gained more notoriety over the years, during their era, their more masculine or tomboyish aesthetic caused them to be overlooked. Now in the 80s and 90s, these girls would have been unstoppable, but the standards for female rappers had changed. If you wanted to be big, you couldn't just be aggressive, and you couldn't just be sexy. You had to be both, which is why there was one girl during this era that was able to become mainstream.
My chick bad, my chick hood, my chick do stuff that your chick wish she could. My chick bad, my chick hood, my chick do stuff that your chick wish she could. My chick bad, bad than dirt.
Cardi B dropped her first mixtape, Gangsta Bitch Music Volume 1, March 7, 2016. Songs like Forever and What's Poppin' gained her some attention. She was also well known for her stripper rants on Instagram and her role on VH1's Love and Hip Hop. Cardi B always took pride in being sexual and vulgar, not only through her music, but her overall personality in everyday life. Cardi made her way into mainstream media, however, when she dropped her single Bodak Yellow in 2018 and reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, where it stayed for 3 weeks. After Bodak Yellow, Cardi maintained momentum and dropped singles like Cartier Cardi and Money, and featured on songs like No Limit and Motorsport. During Cardi's come-up, she embraced her stripper background and ultimately brought back that vulgarity that female rap had been missing for the past few years. Say what you want about Cardi, but she was one of the first few girls to make it mainstream for nearly a decade, and she set a spark in the female rap community. After Cardi's entrance into the rap game, Nicki Minaj returned from her hiatus to release Queen, and new artists like Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Ruby Rose, and the City Girls hit the scene. More and more women started to make their way into mainstream rap, and they revived that hardcore and hypersexual era of female rap that had been dead for a minute. And here's where we get into the gender bias behind modern female rap.
There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores.